In the last episode, you heard from Alec Avedisian, who's co-founder and CEO of Rearform, an eight-figure brand that makes one-of-a-kind bags from recycled billboards. Now, today on episode number 50, get ready because we're talking to Mike Lewis, who's the VP of Bison Coolers, and we're going to be talking about how to leverage limited edition products and seasonal releases as a core lever of growth, especially in a very crowded space. I'm your host, Raphael Paulin-Daigle, and I'm the founder of SplitBase. This is Minds of Ecommerce. Now, this episode is brought to you by SplitBase. At SplitBase, we help leading 8 and 9 figure brands such as Dr Squatch, Hyperice, Amica, Once Upon a Farm go through customer-focused conversion optimization programs. Our programs pinpoints exactly where your store is losing money most, and then, well, we help you fix it. So the result, you get increased conversions, higher AOV, and of course, more money, which in return allows you to scale advertising profitably. We've been at it for over a decade and can help you manage CRO from A to Z. And that's from customer research, conversion design, strategy, copywriting, development. We focus on growing your e-commerce sales while you get to focus on what you do best. So you can go to splitbase.com today to learn how we can help you get the most out of your marketing spend and get a free proposal. All right, Mike, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so as you know, this podcast is all about going deep in one strategy that's been core to your growth and dissecting it so our listeners can get as much value out of it right away. Now, you were telling me that at Bison Coolers, you guys are in a very competitive space, and you found seasonal releases and limited edition products as a way to kind of, get people to come back, but also to acquire new customers and, kind of make your space in a crowded space. So, can you just tell us a bit more about that, the strategy, and then we're going to dive into the details?
Sure, yeah. Really, to be able to get new customers in our door, so to speak, is to create this limited edition product, whether it's seasonal product like Halloween or Christmas cups, or we do kind of spring and fall runs of different designs for a limited time, sell them out, and really, honestly, it's the McDonald's McRib. Idea of bringing back this thing and then taking it away and then bringing it back every single year. And we found that will each year we roll these back out. They sell better and better. So over time, it's a little bit of that scarcity idea of get this while you can, and then throughout the rest of the year, people keep coming back and saying, what happened to this cup or that cup, and it's like you have to wait till next year, and then we roll it back out.
Now, I always see those strategies as something that can also be a bit risky, right? In the sense that you have to forecast demand for something that may not be fully proven yet. You don't know how many limited edition products will actually sell, if especially if it's something new. So, how do you guys think through, maybe we can start with launching new limited edition products? How do you minimize risks but also make sure that it's something that will indeed increase the brand sales?
Yeah, so we're in a unique position that we own our own printing and manufacturing in Texas. So we have UV printers, and we can almost do print on demand.
Right.
It's not a fair thing to say it is print on demand, but we will do really low runs of certain things to test it out, see how it does, and when something kind of catches fire and starts selling really well, because all this honestly is driven by Facebook advertisement. So we use that in order to drive this kind of sales, because it's hard. On, in full disclosure, it's hard to sell a $400 cooler through Facebook advertising,
Right.
but to sell a limited edition, summer, you know, uh, 4th of July cup, we can sell that, and if we sell 100, that's fine. Or if we sell 1,200, we can keep, making it every week to kind of keep up with
Mm.
that.
So what I'm getting out of this is not only is it a way to get people to come back? But it also looks like it's a bit like a tripwire, right? It's a way to get people to into the brand so they are eventually cheaper to acquire, so they can eventually buy the coolers.
Yeah, I mean it's eye candy to someone because they're making, I mean, no one needs 1,000 tumblers.
Right.
Uh, but people will buy multiple tumblers that are cute, and a lot of this is about acquiring female buyers. So we do a
Right.
lot of like female driven. We'll make a cup that's got lemons and cherries on it, and
Mm,
it's the same cup from a year ago. It's just a different print and different look, and so that decision to make that purchase is really an emotional decision that's driven by Facebook advertisement that's capturing someone
right.
at the time of the sale and getting them in our ecosystem on our pixels, and now we can spend the next year reselling them other things that we make besides the reason that they came into the brand.
Yeah. Um, how do you know what's going to work and how many of those limited edition products will you release? You do have the advantage, like you said, to have some of your own printers, so that simplifies things. But, let's say, okay, well, we're getting close to fall, and then you want to do products that are limited to that time of the year. Is it one product? Is it multiple products? Is there some testing that happens beforehand to know a little bit more what is going to be required?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's both. So we roll out the winners every single year. So
Okay.
it's a lot like kissing frogs to find the prince. We'll have five designs. Two of them sell really well. The other ones don't. We kill the ones that don't sell well. Bring forward the ones that do, and keep adding to the line and keep adding new things. So, for example, if it's we had an Edgar Allan Poe cup that we did for Halloween, and it just crushed. So we
Mm,
rolled out other Halloween cups around that cup during that season, and then whichever is the second bestseller or the third bestseller, we'll say, hey, let's mark that for next year, bring that back, and then we'll create two or three new designs around it for the next launch. So we kind of always have some winners that we know will do well historically, and
interesting.
then we'll A/B test new designs to see how well they do. Because really, I mean, you're making this is all someone's opinion, and it's the buyer's opinion, and they're making this emotional connection to this product and
Yeah.
making that choice. And so when you kind of when you strike gold or hit lightning in a bottle, you just keep producing that and making it. And we may roll it out in other vessel sizes, not just like we'll have a 22-ounce cup, but we may roll it out in 40 and in other ones, because we know that design did
Right.
well. But we really just use our customer base to do the market research,
Mm,
and taste change so fast. You can't really fall in love and get married to any of it. And even in our own internal discussions with our team, someone has some really strong opinion about, oh, this cup's gonna kill it, and then sometimes it's the worst selling cup.
yeah.
So we really have
Can't
to
predict the future.
we can't, and we have to unmarry ourselves from this concept of what we like, and then just try to produce what's going to work for the customer.
Yeah. What do you feel like's been the biggest challenges with operating a strategy like that? Has there been anything particularly difficult that you guys had to overcome or that maybe yeah, and I don't know for how long. For how long have you guys been doing this? Has it always been part of the brand's strategy or is it more recent? Start
It's
with that.
new. It's
Okay.
about 2.5 years
Okay.
old. I joined Bison about 2.5 years ago
Yeah.
from another brand, and I brought this concept in. So at the time, Bison was not doing. We were just doing colored
Right.
drinkware. So we just had here's the red cup and here's the black cup,
Got it.
and so I brought in the customization kind of idea. We'd always done customization, but we hadn't sold
Yeah.
SKUs that were had a design on it.
Okay, so I guess that's great then. Good context. Back to my original question. In this case, this is something that's new-ish. So what's been some of the challenges for a brand that didn't do that to start doing that all of a sudden?
It can be a little bit of trust, just trusting that, hey, this is going to work, this new
Right.
concept. And then just the seasonality can be a little bit challenged as far as inventory goes, because we may run out of a base color cup that makes a certain design. And we really have to kind of move around the priorities because we do so much customization for businesses and companies put their logo on our products. So the challenge can be that we have found a hit at the same time our sales are
Mm,
high on the corporate side. And so we have to do a lot of juggling because, as you know, there just becomes this thing where it's like if your if the algorithm is finding customers and you're landing sales through your Facebook ad, you can't stop. You actually
yes.
have to kind of pump it up a little bit. And
Yeah.
so the challenge can be it's like don't run out because you're going to hurt what the algorithm is rewarding the brand for. And so there's been a little of like hit and miss with that type of thing where we will run out and it goes out of stock and now got to
Hmm.
I got to pull down the ads, and by the time you can roll them back up and get the ads going again, you've kind of lost what was working. So
Right.
that's been our challenge is just the ebb and flow of knowing that, making sure our manufacturing guys and our warehouse
Yeah.
guys everyone, we really have to be on the same page and understand what the goals are, and that sometimes you got to move, maybe push the customization thing back a day or two so we can fulfill and make sure that we're riding lightning when something's hitting well.
Right. And I'm sure like it is that type of strategy where it's always harder when you first start doing it because you have no reference, you have no idea what to expect. But over time, you learn from each of those campaigns and things that you're doing, and it becomes a little easier to predict, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. One of the challenges is that all the algorithms are constantly changing, and they're constantly,
Yeah.
you know, they keep moving the goalpost on us on what works and what doesn't work. So that's always a problem. Like what works this year that we did last year may not work this year, and so
Hmm.
that's a little bit of a challenge. The other thing is sometimes we're able just to hop on a hot topic or something that's like hitting out there in the world, or we've done even some like tornado disaster relief type stuff
Right.
because it was poignant at the time, and
Yeah.
so you really have to it 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 it's juggling a lot of different aspects to make it all work properly.
Right. Well, you talked a little bit about ads. So I'm wondering, right, like when you have those limited edition runs and products happening, here and there, how do you manage your ad budgets? Like, do you have a set percentage that will remain to, the classic non-limited edition products? Do you all of a sudden shift all the budget to those limited edition ones, or what's kind of the play here?
Yeah, so I mean, Google ads for the most part seem to land our larger, more expensive items, whether it be coolers
Right.
and soft coolers. So I just let Google be good at that,
Yeah.
and then Facebook seems to land all our smaller, less expensive, limited edition items, and then I let Facebook be the winner of that, and I move budget around for that. But really, I mean, we kind of have a saying around Bison to fail fast. So
Mm.
if something's not working and that ad is not working, then we don't wait around to see what it does next week. We kill it. We swap out, the lifestyle, image, or we'll change the artwork, or we'll adjust it where like we have to hit, you know, I'm I'm trying to hit a 4x ROAS, and
Okay.
that's my number wherever
Right.
I do advertisement. Now, there's reasons to not hit that. Maybe with like retargeting, you're not going to hit
Yes.
that, and but with Facebook ads, it's just a fail fast kind of mode, and to switch quickly because we don't have time to we have short windows, so limited
Yeah.
editions. the window for sales is really small. You really have to kill it in those first 7 days or so, and if it's not working, you gotta let it die and move to the next one. And actually, sometimes I may have 2 or 3 ads running because I don't know which one's going to be the
Mm,
winner. And every time I have it figured out, they change the rules on me, and something else works. And then sometimes, for the most part, I know why certain things are working, so I can do it the next time or the next season
right.
run. But then sometimes I have no idea why this thing worked, and I don't know that anyone knows. So
Well, that's the rule of the game, right? It's that you never truly know the rules. They always change, and you just gotta adapt and test and test and test.
yeah, you have to pay attention, and you have to you cannot rely on what worked last year. It's like you have
Yeah.
to constantly. I mean, I spend a good part of my job is experimenting, and trying something new and trying this next thing, and every article. I read every article, I listen to every podcast, I listen to everything that's going to give me a little bit of insight of what's working for other people. I don't rely
Yes.
on my own instincts or my own knowledge. I have a base of knowledge and a base, for my instincts, but I'm also, hey, where are other people? Like, I listen to, the marketing world and what's working, and I pay attention to the changes, because all that stuff is going to
Yeah.
drive or fail my sales.
Love it. Agreed. I'm curious now. Like, let's say, you be new to a brand, kind of like you were 2.5 years ago at Bison, right? And you're approaching this strategy with a brand that's never done this before. Like, where do you start? What's the first step? Because I understand right now, like you have multiple products, you test a lot, you kind of have like a flow, but how do you go from 0 to 1?
So I think you just gotta it's kind of like lose some battles, win the war kind of thing. So for the most part, I pick sure things and say my test case is the sure thing that I know works, and here's all the settings I'm going to use, and here's the process, and I really strong arm and manage that first project like that, and
Mm,
then from then on out, you can bring a lot of learning to everyone. The other thing is I way over teach our leadership team. I mean, every marketer has to get a CFO on your side, because CFOs hate marketing and they think it's a waste of money. So I do a lot of learning, teaching. Any kind of new insight that I get, I overshare to our leadership team, because I want them to be educated. They don't have to be professionals, but they have to understand why I'm asking for this money, why I'm
yeah.
asking for this photo shoot, why I need this, why I need that. And the only way to do that is to just really do a good job of sharing the analytics, because as they start to understand the analytics, which can be very boring to some people, but if you start showing the strategy of why you're trying to do this, what you're trying to get, and that the biggest strategy that I have in Bison total with our D2C is lifetime value. So I really try to show it's fine to fail, or to break even on the first one, because I'm building lifetime value. Like
Yeah.
that first sale matters a little bit less. It's going to be our job to sell someone down the road, and let me take this person who came in at $29.99, and look, they spent $4,000 over the lifetime value of their
Yeah.
interaction with our brand.
I really love how you're saying that. Well, two things. One, lifetime value. I think it sounds obvious to probably a lot of people listening, but I talk with people in e-commerce every day, and I'm still stunned by how many people only look at the, like today's conversion rate when really it's only a portion of the story. And sometimes if you optimize for like the conversion rate of the day of, you're killing your lifetime value if you don't know your metrics really well, right? And then the second thing, executive support, right? Like marketers, I think sometimes we like to live in our own world. We think things are obvious and we get really, really excited. But so many times I've seen incredible initiatives get shut down at one point when it had to like when it was on the chopping block, just because there's just a lack of understanding around like why it works and why it's important. And it's something that's hard to convince people when it's too late. You really have to kind of bring them in early on. So love you mentioned that. Uh, Mike, This was phenomenal, incredibly actionable. You're a fantastic guest. Now, if people want to learn more about you, about Bison Coolers, about what you do, where should they go? Where should they follow you?
I mean, I don't follow me, but check out Bison Coolers and see the work we're doing. I'm also on LinkedIn, but for the most part, people just are mainly just trying to sell you stuff on LinkedIn. But yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, bisoncoolers.com is kind of where our whole world lives for us and the work we're doing.
Fantastic. Mike, thank you so much.
Thank you.